My name is William Hite, Superintendent, School District of Philadelphia. So first, I want to start by acknowledging the strain that our teachers and support staff have experienced for almost a year now as they've worked heroically to support our students during these unprecedented times. I'm deeply grateful for the many teachers and staff who have continued to provide instruction, participate in training, and fulfill their duties in support of our students. We all appreciate that we must keep our eye on the continuity for our students in this difficult time, and that is evident across all of our schools. I also want to acknowledge the thousands of district employees who have been reporting to work in person since the onset of the pandemic. Facilities and food service staff, school climate staff, principals, IT employees, payroll and talent employees, security staff, and hundreds of others. Thank you for helping us to get to this point. Additionally, I would like to express my gratitude to council members, and I could not agree with Council Member Thomas more that individuals may not recognize the tremendous amount of effort that council members have put in to this question and this process. To the council members who joined us for building walkthroughs in order to experience firsthand many of the safety protocols that we have put in place. So thank you to all of the council members. Originally, I was planning to use my time today to go through the numerous reasons why it is important to reopen our schools for in-person learning. I was going to discuss academic regression that we now know for a fact is happening, particularly with our youngest learners. We know right now that our kindergartners and first graders and second graders are behind where they were at the same time last year, with both kindergarten and first grade having the greatest regression of that age group. I was going to highlight the trauma our students are struggling with and talk about all the work we have done to make sure our buildings support a safe and healthy return for students and staff. But then I opened an email from a parent who shared the following, and I quote, "Let's stop with the reasons why we can't and look more at the larger pile of reasons why we can." I agree with this parent that we should focus on a number of reasons why we need to reopen. But in arguing about the whys or the why nots, we're simply talking past each other. So I want to focus instead on talking with each other and how we can find common ground to begin reopening schools as quickly and as safely as possible. We have a great deal of work to do together. Two, on issues like how we address outstanding concerns about some of our buildings, or how we rebuild the community's trust in the district to deliver a thorough education in a safe and healthy learning environment. So instead of going through my presentation and focusing on the reasons why we need to return, I want to use this time to talk about this reality. All sides in this debate are people of good faith, and we all want the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, in service to our children, it is time to start working together to return them to classrooms safely. I know no one doubts the urgency of getting children back in school. Here in Philadelphia, one of the poorest big cities in America, the pandemic has devastated communities in poverty. The effect of closing schools due to the pandemic in these communities has been especially damaging. The research shows that children of color have suffered the most, falling behind academically and risking their futures in the process. I know we all agree, families, teachers, staff members of school district, and elected officials, advocates, on the importance of reopening public schools. Our disagreement, however, has focused on how to do it safely. These are legitimate concerns, and we need to address them with their parents and students and with their teachers and staff. Today, I want to make clear that we at the district are committed to continuing our work with the Philadelphia Federation of Teachers and the Philadelphia Department of Public Health, and CHOP and any other institution that is available and willing to help to facilitate the safe return of teachers and students through the following measures. First, we announced earlier today, and Dr. Rubin talked about this, that the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia has secured ample supplies of rapid testing kits, and we will make rapid testing available to all teachers and staff working in our schools to help detect positive COVID-19 cases and prevent the spread of the virus. Dr. Rubin talked about the plan to actually have those and implement those, but we will essentially be asking all staff members, not just teachers, to be tested once a week. And tests will be then available for all of those individuals, and that would be done by a group that would then travel to schools at various times, maybe at different days, but all staff members would be tested once a week. In addition to that, all students who would return, a percentage of those students would also be tested for asymptomatic testing as well. Second, we also announced today that in partnership with CHOP and PDPH, we will begin rolling out COVID-19 vaccine appointments, starting first with staff who have already been working in their school buildings and those who are set to return to support our pre-K through second grade students. Invitations for appointments started going out to some of those staff members in that category today. Third, the district has developed a process to actively support PDPH's contact tracing efforts, which will help mitigate the spread of the virus in school communities. Fourth, we've spent over $250 million to make schools safe for teachers and students to return. We're committed to following the guidance of health experts to keep our students and staff safe. We appreciate legitimate concerns about building safety, and we agree that no one should be asked to return to a school unless it's safe to do so. And finally, we know that the best way to enhance the health and safety of all is to have multiple layers of safety. We have put in place extensive health and safety protocols for students and adults. We have extensive inventories of PPE for staff and students to support mandatory mask wearing and facial covering in schools, as well as new classroom and bathroom setups to ensure social distancing, touchless hand sanitizer stations in all hallways, cleaning supply stations in classrooms, maximum occupancy signs outside each room, safety signage throughout schools, and enhanced cleaning protocols using EPA-approved cleaning products. Last week, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released guidelines for safely reopening schools, and I can confidently say that the school district of Philadelphia is in full compliance. But it's not an all or nothing proposition. So let's find some common ground on building safety. We seek to return approximately 9,000 pre-K through second graders for 2 days a week at approximately 150 school buildings. The conditions of these buildings vary, often depending on their age, and the district believes that all are safe for reopening. But surely, we can all agree that at least some of the buildings are safe. And so let's find common ground to prioritize the reopening of these buildings so that children can return as soon as possible. Finally, for our returning families, we want them to come to school and see for themselves the work that has been done to ensure the safety of your children. Just like we did with council, and we hosted the tours for council members, we will host open houses that comply with our health and safety protocols at each and every school we seek to reopen, where we will detail the steps we've taken and address questions and concerns. I know that all of us recognize the importance of reopening schools, and I believe all sides have the best interests of our children at heart. I just submit as I close, let's continue to work. Let's work together to resolve our differences, and let's all make this happen. So, Madam Chair, that concludes my remarks.